He survived Job's health. He survived being dragged out of his house at 6 o'clock in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. T.D. Paul Murphy.
Thanks audience for hanging around this long series of speeches and music. Just firstly I want to thank Andy, but also in particular Fiona and everybody else who's been involved in organising the protest from the 3 different locations this morning. And I was also asked to plug a protest on Tuesday at 3:30 at the Dáil, organised by Spark, against the cut to Lone Parents Allowance, which will affect about 60,000 parents in the course of the next year. Some people might have heard Ruth Coppinger, TD with the AAA, who's here today, speaking in the Dáil the other day. And she used the expression, call out the dog, or call off the dogs. Call off the dogs of war being waged against working class people, dragging people out of people's beds at 7 o'clock in the morning, etc. And when she said it, the Dáil went mad. All the opposition, all the government benches, Fine Gael, Labour, they went absolutely mad. One Fine Gaeler after another, they got up and they said, how dare you, my whole family is made up of Gardaí, are you calling them dogs, is that what you're saying? And of course, Ruth responded explaining no, she wasn't calling them dogs, she was using a figure of speech. But they wouldn't accept it, and they put in a complaint to the Dáil about it. So we looked up other uses of dog metaphors and simile in the Dáil. And so on the 19th of November 2014, 4 days after the protest in Jobstown, Enda Kenny, referring to the protesters, said, people of different political agendas descended on the Taoiseach's car like hounds after a fox. And so he can call us dogs, but we're not even allowed to use a figure of speech in reference to the state and their means of attacking ordinary people. And so there's one law in the Dáil for us, people who attempt to stand on the side of the majority, of the 99% of the working class, and one law for the 1% for the establishment politicians. But it's also outside of the Dáil. There's one law for them and one law for us. There's one law for those who have banks, Swiss bank accounts deliberately to avoid paying tax to the tune of hundreds of millions of euros. Not one Garda, never mind 6 Gardaí at their door. There's one law for the Anglo bankers who can make arrangements to come in to the Garda station for arrest. And there's one law for the corrupt politicians who have always been able to make arrangements, whereas there's another law for us. And the reason is, it's because it is political policing. And they hate it. They hate it when we call it political policing, because it exposes the real nature of the capitalist state. That you don't have this Dáil over here, and the Gardaí over here, and the judges over there, and they're all separate, all independent, they don't talk to each other. You have one rotten system, one rotten economic and political establishment that is at the head of all of those institutions, and they protect their class interests at the expense of the class interests of the majority in this society. And they're doing it now because they're scared that our movement will defeat the water charges. They're scared that having done that, the mass of people discover that we have power to bring down their whole austerity agenda and to bring down that whole rotten system. The best way that we will get revenge is by beating the water charges. The best way that we'll beat the water charges is by mobilisation, is by organisation to stop water meters going into our areas, and most importantly, through a massive boycott of the bills when they come in April. But we do have to respond now. That if any more people are arrested on Monday, or if anyone up in court on Monday gets convicted or gets put in jail for anything, there has to be a bigger response. We can't allow more attacks to continue. So what I would say, if one more is arrested or anyone goes to prison, next Saturday we should take it into town. And we should call for thousands to come into town with us from all across Dublin, and a call for similar protests across the country, for thousands of people to come out, because this is not about me or about the other AAA councillors or about the 20 people arrested so far or about the 20 that will likely be arrested next week. It's about everybody's right to protest. It's about everybody's democratic rights. It's about our ability to organise to take on austerity. That's what they're challenging right now, and we'll have to meet it next Saturday in town. We should discuss everybody who's been arrested and make arrangements for next Saturday, mobilise people in and send a very powerful message to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul Murphy. We're going to have Sean Tallaght.